Mami kwa homa so. Dano memne da His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wo mo ye walk ana ewo mempesua so. Mimi area wo. Eno wo mo ye sa walk no. Because amafo. Yes, ne kasa mafo Madam Joyce Mogtari Bawa ewa homa so. Alaba na pe mamo ache.
Na yam video so.
Bom te say.
Bibia boko de nyame adom bibia boko.
Nyame anim no kure ni. No kure pa ye ba akope. Hey, these days new t-shirt na. Mo ye ne mo paref enye ize o.
Onim say me de bia me ka de ba ko say. Me two things first and foremost. Me ambassador for all sorts of positive energy. Eno de nyame de cheni me very public spirited. Na me bibia me di ma adwen to so say ade a eda makoma so. Nti I take all these opportunities very, very seriously, and they are also very humbling. What you are saying, and they are dear, on your maybe the mouth say, ye. Now, me say, Woko Amanonia, people more Casaman for they wouldn't say it's a capa. What you are saying, people make a huge living out of public relations, out of communication,
yeah.
How to present your work, how to present your board, how to present your office. What you are saying, and they are dear, me Danyamia to say, on us one mommy, the wisdom. When I'm saying easy, my was our space. Every day is a blessing. Say, oh, sorry, you are encouraged not to give up.
I even saw a publication that wire or Facebook on how to communicate in this election.
Politics because you are coming to say what you are saying. Now, ma be brave. We are seeing even look at you see what you are. Who can think Kamala Harris your Bema? People will wonder whether or not the party no it be called an answer and you know what you are saying. And see, I know I will be what you are saying. So me, I've made a lifestyle of coping and building coping mechanisms into my system. What you are saying? Me no be pull me down and me saying what you are saying. Because once I believe in a cause, I do it and I do it with all my might and with all my strength. I make me sure on your meso, it's not that you're bizarre. I'm sure say I have a certain gift. Me say, me de bois and I have a lot of young women. What I say, we should learn how to cope with one another. We should learn how to be wise in dealing with issues to do with women. We should also learn a certain emotional way of accepting the fact that you will always be viewed as the lesser of the two. What I say, and you will see men who will still want you to believe that it's a man's world. Me share we are her. For as long as we learn to lift each other up, the rest is easy. We all hear everything, the negativity, the pluses, the minuses. What I say, rise above it. That is what I tell every sister that I meet. Learn to rise above it. As for sexism and all these funny things, they will never change. From my mother's day, it was even worse. So we are even lucky. Or me mommy opportunity to be a better example of myself every day.
If I may ask, why not these days so design more t-shirts, no more shirts, any idea more using?
Oh, wouldn't say. I always say that our t-shirt in money, my dear, wouldn't say NDC over the last 2 years. We have actually withstood the test of time. What I say, we have won comparatively every election fair and square. We have worked very hard to reposition our party, to rebrand in a way that is attractive. Now, me see me call party headquarters. Me call share your former Attorney General, Marietta Blue, Sister Helga. Me am a former boss, me madam for me sister. Oba Ujina mu Emma and Manina, no matter the circumstances. Emma Fahad Castle, Oba, Nakuma Dano, Pa, my sister-in-law, Tanya, and Wamunina turned up. So mo be training. I was saying a election day Juma Afan seriously. There can be no example better than that. And now Auntie Betty Modidusu or the picture be a bammy, me kaipa all those years ago. Now Juma African Lawyers Association, any feeder, Nyoma, we were all very young and very innocent then. But it told me one thing, Dr. Valerie Sawyer, send your nam quite to me and very encouraging. Yeah, Mammy Lordina, and Mama Jina Muamayina. Unim say NDC shared from the days of Dr. Mary Grant. Yesterday, I me born common young girls in me focus group, be bright, brilliant young girls. I me catch your motion say, dear, you see the days of Hajia, these are Monkaila, Munina, Besi, we stand on the shoulders of great women. What you say, cast in the mold of Yasantua, in different forms, in different generations, different ages, different backgrounds. But the most important thing is that, and I am born common. NDC is now a very attractive political party. It's a whole lifestyle. And today, they are also young people. And I say, young people are more talent. This no one to say, I am teenagers. They design all sorts of things. Designed by a young guy in the media. What I say, a budding entrepreneur. Why are they only the family? They have a lot of talent. Now, first time I who saw t-shirts, I thought, wow, that's interesting. But I realized that the green was actually popping. And see, idea, NDC green media, it is a sign of generation, a sign of fertility, a sign of positivity, a sign of energy. What I say? And I saw them in black, I saw them in red.
I must say, the t-shirt is beautiful. One shall know Obiako Fabiasha, no name say NDC t-shirt.
Oh, yes. And I may say after the walk, I never be brave because me didn't say me or Obiako. What I say, because on now all started me on the home to become a class so they can make more. Now many MPs in your man, first, so moon in a young friend. See, me say, who names the political party, the association? If you stand tall, if you stand well, if you stand effectively. And I think that there's a lot of credit we need to give to our forebears, what you say. There's John Rawlings, Omanpenye Dada, Professor Mills, Pakwesi Misata, Antina Anna, and Papa John Dramani Mahama. Share opportunity or the mind and look at the effort we are all making. Very positive impressions everywhere.
Right.
I am asking and calling on all of our citizens. You share issues, no. We are not
now, Vice President in the campaign trail no or started or the two just say or her can say one the former president and the flag bearer of the NDC Bay debate. I the abetu just say or per se or debate emo mumienu. We issue press release be debate no and ammonia. And then you in the press release you said I wouldn't a mandate I for in calling for a debate. Ubet me actually mukaka.
Only say me say debate serious. Say idea a convention what you say. Any idea regulated by any law announced is just traditional. It has evolved all because we want to build more transparency. We want to make our leaders more accountable. If I say anything, you're very interactive. And we want to showcase the policies. What you are saying, your man leaders, you know, war mudi. Now, me say, Mr. The way they are there, you judge, you negotiate. Maybe a loyalty. I believe in the power and the strength of negotiation. Even before we let our cry dear to about I was saying we share. Our leaders, no, what you say, I say, they be me catch assembly, me share me chino as an American because I wanted to come out very well. Women say, if we are seeing John Mahama, one of his biggest strengths is his belief in democracy. When the Mahama goes to me, more be opportunity, we are calling, we are paying you, we are there you. Now, listen, young people who design t-shirts, you almost design designs the bar. You will be amazed, say, Onua, Mr. Musa, which I say, and on the phone, come on, or better color, you or better, which I say, Misha, he is someone who gave us a profound gift on it, Professor Mill. They led very differently, with a very different style. They were not heavy-handed. They were very accommodating. Share almost media, Emma media, investigating them. The media 42 if they had anything to say in defense, they would be, I think we didn't even defend vigorously enough. What I say? And on your beer also debate. Not a debate there. Mr. Mahama Nema debate very if you remember. Now, Professor Mills, his capacity to debate, it was never in doubt. What you say? Both men were gifted orators. Now, Mr. Mahama and this is no, he comes to boss. What you say? Inti or no, the dexterity when it comes to debates and communications, they are there. And they are there. We all believe that there's some beauty in raising the bar for our democracy. But let me put it on record first. It is simply and merely a convention. It is the reason why in 2016, then candidate Akufo-Addo refused to debate. It's the same reason why in 2020 he refused to debate. In fact, at the time, the gentleman who is today calling for the debate in that very mischievous and disrespectful way is only doing so because he has no message. Now, for the fact that immediately after he makes that call, the very same evening, we see a release from the Institute of Economic Affairs, IEA. I think that is very, very unnecessary. What I say, it feeds into a certain public discourse. It feeds into a certain narrative. It feeds into a certain perception. Until any idea, we will tolerate. That is all I'm saying. But the fact Mr. Mahama's democratic credentials, the more media, even his wildest critic, you can ask them on the cultural. Say, Mr. Mahama, when it comes to democracy, patriotism, the qualities as the type of leader we all expect, and yeah, they are in doubt. Now we have a very disciplined set on the other side. It is very difficult for them to respect other people. Now, candidates are account no one and you don't know did Mr. Mahama Ghana. Before you demand respect, you must first give respect. Me, I am a very disciplined person, and I take my example and inspiration from Mr. Mahama. Me say that sorry and Mr. Mahama be friend me akachen so JB no, never. Even if I make a mistake like that, or no, be first or be friend, we are friend party for me. Even in the heat of these public debates, I said to you, me friend young people me. Oh no, you didn't say it well. Don't do this, don't do that. He is a man who lives decorum and respect. But the other side, have never shown any.
So if IEA decides to engage, then because they've not come out with a date.
I personally don't know because I've been interacting with them all these years, very long time. I'm a young lawyer. On many issues, Mr. programs, any activities, and they've had occasion even to set up these debates, etc. All I'm saying is that it is just a convention. And that even if the IEO or any other such institution wants to have such a conversation, they must engage political parties first and foremost. They must engage leaders of political parties first and foremost. They must also approach it from a perspective of independence, not on the back of a call by a rather very disrespectful opposition leader.
You think IEA wrote this on the back of a call by the vice president?
I am sure the IEA has tried very hard to deny it, but you see, in politics, everything is about perception. This is the impression that has been created by what they've done. In any case, where was the IEA when Akufo-Addo refused and declined the invitation to debate in 2016? Where was the IEA when he refused and declined the invitation to debate in 2020? In any case, even the letter they wrote, why did it not have such a narrative? And even call on leaders to at least respect this convention or come back to the table for further conversations, to draw up some regulations, draw up some guidelines, what you can and cannot do, what you can't say and cannot say. In any case, we have all observed how our opponent has a certain verbal diarrhea. He stops at nothing. I listened to him a few days ago and I asked myself, how could anybody stoop so low just because of political power? And that should tell you the deception that they are carrying, that they want to mislead and misrepresent everything, twist all the facts, and behave as if they have no care in the world. They've had 7 years and 8 months to prove that they are capable of fixing Ghana and fixing the economy. We have failed on all of that. Bawumia will not be Akufo-Addo's legacy to us. They will go home and reconsider their position in terms of our democracy. And I think that is what is important.
If I remember clearly that those days, those times are now debates, organized debates. I know that I and in recent times in the United States of America, recent debate, a call for the president to step down as candidate for Omo party. call no edidimwa. I mean, it showed that the man had issues, and today he was stepping down. Debate has its positive and negatives. Don't you think, sir? Do you think who be here? As in, if US have done this and has shown something, it can either.
We are okay. The decision on whether to debate or not, and the idea coming.
Yes.
And person may assume any level of authority or discretion that is not necessarily mine to give. What I say.
Yes.
Maybe such a Muse as spokesperson for Mr. Mahama campaign 2024 and watching the environment, saying any share, saying any pipe on, and I make catch or say the timing of IEA release. No, jet to say it was wrong. What I say.
Right.
Especially in a politically partisan environment as the one that we are currently experiencing. What I say, that is one thing.
Right.
Secondly, in his historically, Mr. Mahama knew Obia debate the man.
Yes. Yeah.
Obia nimsa. But me say, the other side have not shown any good faith. They haven't shown any respect. Now me say, and maybe I may catch them on media for. Wow, called Mr. Bawumia, put him to strict proof. Make reference to it and ask them. What I say? And now 170 questions of the man, may he so rest in peace. Late Vice President Misata. So Catcher said, textbook economist there, won't mean boy. And 7 years later, saying I won't say may say Joe Biden has actually dropped out of the race. But look at the grace of it. Look at the respect of it. What I say, even Donald Trump, to his credit, when we say on fast, I asked them no, any BBR. Now, immediately after Biden dropped out, what did you experience? I say that when we say Trump almost in the age about issue. What I say, politics is about perception. It's about the environment, about the culture. Now, me say, there's a lot of respect. Foot soldiers make a candidate be, but candidates no, you might be over we will share a candidate on the other side. Bawumia, in the campaign, I want to be seen. So I'm born Mahama only. So I'm far assembly and see the pastor on Kata. Now to think that he even had the temerity to describe Mr. Mahama policy be as empty and from empty barrels. Very rude, very disrespectful. Ghana for Nipa say, maybe I'll mind the sentence. Sister. Let's be very careful about our choice of leaders. Me say, Obia would do me videos questioning Macron Bessery. And you said we should think carefully about it. I mean, me say, any debate, if it go, Saturday no debate, I can't want any. Did you see that even Trump was, you could see the empathy in his eyes, which I said, for the very first time. And the idea, Obama's speech or this letter, commiserating with Biden. Giving him his honors and his respect. Ghana, how will leader be more beyond Akufo-Addo? Won't anybody in the past. So the name is Omoko Yin and say, Mon Kroma, your Nkrumah. Why do you want to rewrite our history? Countries with a shorter history, with less dynamic history, are proud of it. Why are we trying very hard because of partisanship to reduce our history to mass? As we are going into this election, yes, look at it in a very peaceful way. But in the recess of our mind, let's reflect on the type of leadership we want to see. It will say your leaders almost boot each other. They should respect one another.
Another press release about Mahama campaign warns MPP against raising the political temperature. You've spoken about Tema Metropolitan Assembly and also spoken about Ablekuma.
But I know I'm my sister. Why we pay for an opportunity to advertise our candidate? Who but not legal intersection one? Alan Chairman or Junction.
Yes.
The poster see okay, the big huge poster. When we saw the defensive poster and now what it poster no. Baby. So Argentina appointee chief executive of TMA, Anapa, Amanipa Ako defensive Mr. Mahama poster. We live in a democracy. We live in freedom. We live with liberties, with rules and regulations. This country does not belong to any patriotic party or to Akufo-Addo. What I said, Akufo-Addo has reduced the country to his personal property or an heirloom. And no, and what democracy. And fire and Kobe Bia. Now, we shall call for Mudine. That's how they behave. Me say, they be a mission your more MPP. Me kaya sema Dr. Nyahota Moglokai. This is not the MPP they formed. This is not the MPP they died for. This is not the MPP they wanted.
Emsa Homano Akate Kasamafo Emma John Dramani Mahama Joyce Bawa Mogtari Ena Oteni Kano
Onua 95.1 FM. Yeah,